we're gonna talk about the Digitakt and the Zero Coast because I think they pair really well together, and I figured maybe I should tell you why I feel this way. So let's go. A quick reminder while the Game Boy is loading, my new album I'm Tired that is out on Bandcamp, and you can just go check it out. Now, thank you. So first, to pair the Digitakt and the Zero Coast, we need to be able to sequence the Zero Coast with the Digitakt. And the manual can be a bit weird on the Zero Coast because the menu navigation is pretty harsh, but you'll find your way there. All you got to know here is to enter the menu, you just punch in the program A and then hold it, right? And now we are on page 1 of the menu. There's, I think, 7 pages. And we want to go on page 3 to MIDI learn the Zero Coast, right? So we're on page 1, and I'm going to press A twice to go to page 3, right? Page 2, page 3. And on page 3, you can see that the MIDI A light here is lit. Lit? Yeah, I guess. Now that the Zero Coast is set, we have to set up the Digitakt, and all you have to do is go on the MIDI that you want, the MIDI track that you want from 9 to 16. I'm going to choose MIDI 9 here, MIDI A actually, and then we're going to go to Assign here, and I'm going to just press Function and punch the encoder, and then I can select the channel I want to send the notes information to the Zero Coast. So I'm going to set it to 1, and now that the Zero Coast is ready to learn MIDI, all I have to do is press this, and as you can see, it is receiving notes and emitting sounds. That's pretty much how what you have to do here. Other things to do is go to the menu here and go to MIDI config. So if you go back to the top and then go down, you got MIDI config here. And we're gonna sync, set it to be synced, right? So I'm not gonna send the clock from the Zero Coast to the Digitakt. I just want to send it from the Digitakt, so I'm gonna punch clock send and untick the clock receive. Then I'm gonna tick transport send and program change send, but I don't think I'm gonna use it here, but you never know. And now you're all set. If you press play here, you can see that the tempo matches the tempo, right? What I have here is the sound going from the Zero Coast output to the input left of the Digitakt. And then what you have to do is go in the external mixer page, you set it to dual here, then you get L and R, and then you just set the level that you want, and then try to set both, ideally the exact same level, right? And then what is nice is that you can start adding effects to the Zero Coast. The only thing you have to know is that you will not hear the effects of the Zero Coast until a note is played on the Digitakt. Here. Otherwise, I don't hear it. So it has to be go in, and then you get the effects. And then if you press stop twice, it's dried. Try again. And the Zero Coast, of course, shines with the reverb like a lot of synths. So it's really nice to pair it with the great reverb of the Digitakt. Now, what makes this pairing so nice is really due to the fact that the Zero Coast can do pretty much everything you want it to do. It can sound harsh, it can sound tender, kind of. So you can have this, let me get rid of this modulation first. So you can go from a really nice sound, really round like a sine. Let me get some decay here. Really nice sound here, and then you can progressively increase the overtones and get some really harsh tones. And this is just scratching the surface, of course, because then you can patch everything. But it's nice to add to the zero cost because, yeah, it's a jack of all trades and it's really easy to modulate over time. Now, let's see how we can do a scratch sound, because this is my favorite thing I made with the zero cost. Yeah, so I did a track that was called Pimping Nelson, where I sampled some of the Miles Davis interviews and mixed different things here. Really nice samples from Oliver Nelson's Septet as well. And so yeah, I used the zero cost to do some scratching sounds. So let's see how we can make that happen. So basically, the zero cost has an envelope here, the contour. Yeah, they give weird names, I don't know why, but this is an envelope. Then you've got the slope here, which is an LFO that can go to audio rate modulation, and then different things that we'll see later, adding overtones. Then you can multiply it and of course modulate the multiply that is applied to the overtones. You get the pitch here, you get some FM here, and then you've got one entry for the volume, like the pitch, right? So the first thing we're gonna do is actually make sure that we get a snappy sound, right? So let's turn the decay all the way to 0 and the decay here all the way to exponential. So we got sustain here because I want to be able to hold the note, right? Next, I'm gonna use this, which allows me to send different values to different places, okay? So I'm gonna take this, which is a random CV generator. So it gives random values of CV, which is really helpful to modulate things in a weird way, right? So I'm gonna take that and add it to this. So it just makes a connection between these 2 points. And so I send these random values to this attenuator. You can see the result here. You can have like, so this is to 0, so it's not affecting this chain. And if I turn it here, you get the exact same values happening there. And here it's in negative, so red, right? So I'm gonna send it all the way up. And what I like to do with the sound, so for now the sound is still the same, but I'm gonna add some FM, right? FM modulation. So you can hear for each new value here, you get FM modulation, right? So I'm gonna turn this all the way, and this will bring nice kind of glitch sounds, right? Yeah, so this is the first step. Now we can do a lot of different things. First, we're gonna bring the overtones. Oh, by the way, I didn't turn the LFO down, but we'll get to that later. So this is the raw sound without the FM modulation. And with the FM modulation, right? Next thing, we're gonna see the LFO because it really can bring harsh sounds. Because without it, you can bring some overtones. By the way, I'm using the folded keyboard from the last Digitakt update. You can access it by holding function and track, and then you can set the keyboard fold so you get 2 octaves here. And I mean Aeolian scale, right? Okay, it's great for the scratching because you can really quickly switch between octaves instead of going, which is a nice feature for that. So now we're gonna bring our slope. So usually the slope is like random, like this. And the slope is modulating, so you can see the rate here, it's modulating, you can follow the grid here. Slope going to multiply, and multiply is going to this attenuator, and it modulates the overtones, right? So right now it's pretty quick, so I'm gonna make it slow with the rise, so attack, decay, and this is the algorithm to make it quicker or lower. So you can hear that it modulates the overtone at a slow rate. What we want for getting harsh sounds is actually have the quickest LFO possible to get like audio rate modulation, right? And then you can adjust the sound by, of course, changing the overtones. And the envelope, attack, and decay. The LFO, sorry. Same for the decay. Lots of sweet spots to find, right? And same for the algorithm. And of course, we didn't mention it, but the great way of scratching with the Digitakt, sorry, is to play with the pitch. It will be easier to hear with without the slope. So basically, I'm just moving this. I just got inspired by the DJ that moved the crossfader really quickly, and I wanted to be able to kind of replicate the sound. And it's really nice when you get the nice rhythm for that. So you get all these parameters that are really nice to play with. So the four the global parameters that you want to look for right here for this patch to change the sound is, of course, the balance of the fundamental and the overtones. Then you've got the slope, as we saw, and you can toggle it on or off. Then you get the overtones. You got also these buttons that is the multiply that goes to the overtones. All of these in conjunction. You have to explore a bit to find how it works, but so many possibilities. So this is the beginning of the patch, and then we can add so many nice things. I'll just give you a few ideas here, but of course the best thing is to explore. One thing that brings noise, a bit like the slope, is to actually send the slope, so the LFO. There we go, so the slope out to the pitch, right? Not doing anything because it's turned off, but if I turn it on, we got some nice things. Endless fun to have, right? Next thing, we can actually play with the multiply or even the overtones. We can have the end of the envelope modulate the overtones here. Brings a bit more craziness. If I turn up this, so sending the end of the envelope, which is really short, modulates the overtones. Don't forget to play with the octaves. You can see here, we could make a nice kick right off the bat. With maybe a bit more decay. Anyway, now you get other things that you can play with. For example, we right now the slope is not modulating the multiplier here, so not the multiplying and not the overtones. But we can send the other parts of this that we had, which is a random value, remember? And then send it to the multiply. Now it goes just crazy. And if we remove this, so yeah, all you have to do is explore and you can find so many nice things, right? Let me get back to this. And that's pretty much it. The next thing to do is to jam and really have fun with whatever you learn from that. Let me maybe get something.